Hello everyone, and I'd like to talk to you about the XCOM game, Enemy Unknown. Kind of what I'm going to be doing with this talking about is that I've heard a lot of complaints that there's no more hardcore games, that these games are all for everyone. Well, honestly, I've been looking and playing and seeing some games coming up, and honestly, there's several of them that do look like they are for hardcore games. One of them being XCOM Enemy Unknown. And truth be told, I am super excited about this game. I do know that there is a multiplayer. You got Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. And there's going to be a multiplayer element. And it's not like one of these BS multiplayers that, it's tacked on. This is something that was designed with the game and balanced out, where it's a turn-based strategy game, kind of like Warhammer 40K, whatnot, Blood Bowl, what have you, whatever you want to say. It is something like that. It's pretty much taking a chess game, taking the mechanics from the main game and the enemies from the main game that you can play them, and you work at a point. So each weapon, each character, each build you have is worth so many points. And honestly, you can play against each other, and the multiplayer aspect looks really good. There's a time base, so you can't just waste out. And this would be a perfect thing to turn, actually, kind of making a huge game around it, and have people play it a lot. And honestly, and kind of like pro versioning it, but not true pro versioning of it. And honestly, you can see, all these are just screenshots. I'm very sorry I couldn't get you actually gameplay, because truth be told, that would be taken down. And it makes me so pissy and mad. But honestly, the game is replayable, massively replayable. It is super, super fun. We got about a month before this thing is released. Give or take a month. I'm saying a month. And I'm super excited. And as you can see, this is one screenshot for the multiplayer. So you can literally actually have several of your own units taking control of your enemy units. And honestly, they said that they're not that pretty much now it's going on radio silence on new features, because they said there's a lot new features that they want to surprise you with. And honestly, that they are focusing on the idea of having these strategies, using your characters evolve and change, and you're having new weapons and new gadgets, new abilities. And honestly, you're going to say, well, that's a lot of features, but that doesn't make it hardcore. What's going to make this game and the games I'm going to be talking about in the coming hardcore is the fact that they're actually putting true difficulty, not just hard ass just trying to kick you when you're down, but actual forcing you to think your tactics through and forcing you to make decisions. In this game, I do agree with what they're saying, that you have to make decisions and think about it. You can have your badass team of a few guys, or you can have a huge, well-rounded team of several little guys. And honestly, they're going to put you against increasingly more and more difficult units. And they also allow the ability of choice to making it more difficult. So you can have the hard Iron Man mode where you make a turn, you're done, and you can't just rewind it. And honestly, I like this feature, which allows you to make it super hardcore. Hell, here, even a map, they have a whole world you have to protect, and you can't protect it all. And if you have to make your choices, and you have to choose where you go and start off your base. And I like that idea that you have to make your choices, you have to fight your fights on different grounds in different areas, and you don't have a chance to always make the best choice. You have to do what you have to do with. Can't always make the perfect choice, but you can do your best choice. And all these little features that they're putting in there and fighting against it is great. And honestly, this is an updated series that was done several years ago, and honestly, a new coat of paint is something perfect and brilliant to do. And honestly, I cannot think of something better. And honestly, they say if you really want to be the old school and take it all you can keep it isometric and not have to really do all these. You don't have to do all these new modern kind of fancy glazes over there with new images, mechanics and stuff like that. I understand if you want it. They said they understand that there's some hardcore people that don't want to have all these fancy doodads on there. Fine. But it allows the choice. And they understand that, truth be told, games have kind of gotten a little too easy that anyone can play them. And he says that there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what? You have to make a nod to the old. And these are the old uniforms you can get if you pre-order the game. But honestly, going back to it, that the games have to be difficult. You can't have games you can just run through and just say, we're for hardcore gamers and all gamers. You gotta think and make your choices. And they said that they're going to have difficulty modes and really hammer on that there's going to be difficult modes, that it's not that it's unfair, but you're going to have to think your way through it, and you can't just buffalo your way through it. You got to think, use tactics, cover support, and all these other little features. And they said that other than the hard stuff you have to think through, they also said that the multiplayer, as I'm going to go on, is that points based I was talking about earlier, talking about how it's broken down to points and different levels of characters and enemies that you can choose and fight against. They said this is where they feel that this will take advantage of their procedurally generated terrain, which was built, that's in the story mode, so it's never the same playthrough twice. They felt that this would be perfect for actually setting up games of wit and challenge and making you think and use your mind against each character your opponents you're playing with, and that not only are they making it hardcore for the story, hardcore and for not expert, but serious hardcore players in the multiplayer, because it gives you a 2-minute timer, kind of like chess, where speed chess, where you have so many minutes to work through it and hit your button and get through it and get through the game and do it, and it forces you to make smart decisions on the fly and not kind of wait back 3 hours. No, okay, I'm perfect, I can make my decision now. I like this feature that they're doing that, and I think it's perfect for video games that they've learned that what they have to do is make games that are for everyone, but also make the and not ignore hardcore audiences. That you can make features that make it easier for audiences that are not so much into it and just want to have a casual game. I understand that, and I like that they're doing that. And I also like that they go, okay, here's the hardcore mode, and it's not just we're going to kick you in the nuts and repeatedly kick you while you're down. It's going to be, think your tactics. Do you go around the cover and open fire, or do you hold down support and just making sure you think your way through the problems and not kind of do an easier playthrough, easier time, and just buffalo and burning people up and shooting them left and right. I hope you've enjoyed this so far. This is just my little thing that this game will be for hardcore audiences. My little talk about, there's several other video games that are for hardcore audiences that I will talk about later on. I like to say, everyone, thank you for listening to my ramblings. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please tell me what you think. Please tell me if you are excited about XCOM. If you're not, so be it. I will be playing this game. I will be recording. I will put my own gameplay footage when the game comes out. Hopefully I can do it at day one, but I don't know. Something may come up, or if I might be struggling doing this stuff. But I like to say, everyone, thank you for listening to my ramblings. Hope you've enjoyed. Please tell me what you think. Like, favorite, subscribe if you liked it, and if you want any more information, because I'm going to be trying to get any information that I can get out to people. And I like to say, everyone, thank you, and good night.